Okay, Dental Nachos, happy Thursday afternoon. We are going to do a Talking Nachos with Dr. Nacho. As always, looking to bring you good ideas to find out about in the dentisting space. And right up front, we're going to talk with my special guest, Gordon Craig. Well, thanks for being here, Gordon.
Paul, great to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
And most interviews, they start with something, who you are, what you're doing. But before we get to that, I want to get to a cool question to help our audience. So being a dentist can be painful. Our patients think it's painful, but they're going to be pain for us, whether it's business pain or managing our team. So what is something, Gordon, you've been in the dentisting world, in the dentisting space for a while. What is something that dentists and their teams can do right now to make their dental world a little bit easier, a little bit less painful? What can they do in modern day dentisting? We'd love to hear that from you.
Well, I think that applying technology is something that's very important with any organization. And then looking at workflows. And one of the things that you're going to hear from me today is Sterngold has really spent a lot of time, even though the company's been around for a while, we've really started to focus in on workflows and making it easier for the doctor and assistant and office staff to utilize products that really can make dentistry more affordable to the masses and really take away some of those pain points.
I think that's great, and we have some cool opportunities which we'll dig into. So I want to hear a little bit about you, but I also want to say that we had the cool opportunity to meet. Now we're meeting on Dental Nachos in front of 18,000 people, but we had the cool opportunity to meet old-fashioned, face-to-face at one of my events here in Philadelphia, and you've been in dentistry half as long as I've been alive. So you've seen over 21 years a lot of stuff. So share with our audience, before we get into this cool Facebook Live and what you do and Sterngold does, I just love to have a message from someone who's been in dentistry for 2 decades about the value of seeing each other face to face and how you felt at that course that we invited you to, and how dentists could do more bonding, to use a dental term and real person term.
First of all, I just want to say that the name Dental Nachos just rings a bell, right?
Thanks.
It's something that is different. It's cool. It's really trendy. But the most important thing that you shared with me is that sharing of knowledge, right?
Yeah.
And that is really the most important aspect of dentistry. And things have changed so dramatically over the last, I've been in dentistry for 21 years. And I can tell you that for a long time, it was steady Eddie, very slow, not so much progress. But in the last 10 or 15 years, maybe 10 years, it's really advanced significantly. And the sharing of knowledge has really permeated into a way. The internet has brought us just a wealth of information. But I can tell you that even as we're sitting here face to face looking at a video, the in-person aspect for any industry is still critical. What hasn't been stripped away is the relationship, and reaching out and shaking a hand or giving a pat on the shoulder is something that really still drives in human nature. So we have to combine both of those.
I agree with you. The person who bonded us together was watching, the awesome Barbara Schreiner. I mean, she just typifies that. She came to my first CE course years ago. I was at Maggiano's. I remember she came and she was just such a great representative of humanity, let alone the dental industry. And, she sent me a nice basket afterwards. And I just think that one of the messages, and I know we're going to talk about you and what you do, is that dental school, one of the weaknesses, and even dental residencies, and I'm a big proponent of dental residencies where I teach, they don't really allow the students and residents to connect with companies and resources, and companies are resources. These are the people that are bringing you stuff. And when you're out there in the real world of dentisting, a lot of times as a solo practice owner, it becomes so overwhelming just to have to deal with all the people that you didn't realize. So tell us a little bit. Now let's get into about who you are, what you do on a day-to-day, a little bit about your professional and personal background as we get started here.
25 years in professional sales, marketing, finance, and in the last, really the last 15 years have been dedicated to Sterngold and really growing Sterngold, revamping Sterngold. And the last 6 years, I've been president, CEO, and owner, and really have changed the company significantly, revolving around the changes that are happening in the industry. One of the things that's really, really nice for Sterngold is that we cater to both sides, both the clinical side and the laboratory side.
Awesome.
And I'll tell you, what's happening on the lab side is such where educational programs from the university levels are being cut. You know, there's this sort of lack of ability for dental technicians to obtain course studies at the university level. So what has changed is that it's shifted over to manufacturers. So we do a lot of education, both for clinical side and the laboratory side. So that knowledge, we are actively sharing that knowledge, because knowledge is really what advances the dental space.
And why I'm doing this and why I do these things with our key sponsors and resources like you, I believe sponsors are resources because we're all in this nacho plate together. But I think what you said is interesting is, even me, somebody who prior to Dental Nachos was kind of, doing study clubs and lecturing, I thought of Sterngold as the attachment people, right? As the attachment people. So tell us some of the things that are on your plate that I've learned through working with Barbara, some of the things on the Sterngold plate of dental nachos toppings that you offer to dentists. Tell us a little bit about your implant line, mini implants, and other things that you guys have.
Certainly. So we have this legacy of being the alloy and attachment company, but we're much more than that. In fact, we are truly an American-made company who manufactures dental implants, both mini implants, conventional implants. We make them right here in this building in Massachusetts with U.S. sourced materials. In fact, here's, I'll just hold up a few things. Here's a model with our mini implants right here.
Oh, cool.
And those are made right here in our factory. High quality surgical systems. So here's our mini implant surgical kit. Small, compact, everything is held in.
I like the size of it. I've been doing implants for years. And I think one of the craziest things about, I don't know if you're a golfer, but I played a lot of golf growing up. And the implant companies, I think when they first started, they would give you sometimes 73 things. You only use 4 things. It's like giving someone a golf, giving them a lob wedge and all these different clubs. It actually just confuses them. So I love kits like that. I think that's great. Tell us, with mini implants, what I do is I like to, put together everything that's out there in the space. With mini implants and patients that are either older or looking for a quicker solution, tell us, I know that's one of your guys' calling cards. Tell us about how the mini implant cases work with some of your KOLs or people that are sharing out there, because I know I get a lot of questions about mini implants in my implant travels.
Yeah. One of the biggest things, really the 2 most important things to think about when you think of mini implants is, one, first, minimally invasive. Okay, so there's a wider variety of cases that mini implants can be used for treatment. Okay, and the second thing is affordable. Okay, so those 2 aspects really make a life-changing experience for the patient, because it takes them from having a conventional, non-supported denture to an implant-supported denture. So their function, their ability to eat, their ability to just be confident in their life just changes. Their whole face changes. They light up. They're smiling. Why is it minimally invasive? Because many cases can be done by just drilling right through the tissue, placing the implant. It's a mini, small diameter implant, so that if you have an atrophic ridge, you can still utilize these cases, especially in the lower anterior of the mandible. You can place these, secure that lower denture, and it really changes the patient's life.
And I've been talking with Barbara, and mainly what my experience in my dental career has been with conventional implants. But now one of my favorite topics is the implant overdenture. And there are a lot of things to be concerned about with dentistry. So, there's things to be concerned about: declining insurance reimbursement, the older dentists practicing longer and not creating space for newer dentists, more dentists graduating. But one of the most positive things I see is in the world of implant overdentures, because patients are living a long time. Their teeth, this is one of my things I say, Gordon, dentists, my people, we're negative people. Your teeth have failed. You also a failure. So dramatic. These teeth have worked for 72 years. I say, hey, it's time for your teeth to retire. But the person might live for another 10, 20 years. And I've actually really been thinking about I always say ABC, always be creative. And you can utilize mini implants in conjunction with conventional implants to be creative on a case where I could get somebody a mid-range solution till either maybe they save more money or maybe they're waiting for healing. So I really see it as something that can come alongside of it as long as practitioners are learning in a responsible way. And, one of the things I'm sure you see is one of the reasons I think implants sometimes get a reputation as the Wild West is just because they're not taught in dental schools really at all.
Yes.
And then people get out and the patients want implants, and the practitioners a lot of times are trying hard to get this knowledge and this practice, and it's hard. I've taught implant courses for years where, let's say somebody's like, hey, I want to get started with learning about your what's the conventional implant line you guys have? What's that called?
So we have the true and the pure, okay?
Gotcha.
And you made a very interesting point. It's a very important point. I want to reiterate it. And that is that mini or small diameter implants are not a replacement for conventionals. It's the small diameters should be in the toolkit of any implantologist because it widens the paintbrush. It allows you to do more cases with more wider sets of tools. It's like having one screwdriver in your house and trying to use it on your eyeglasses. You need a mini.
It's a perfect way. You reference, I was on Howard Ferran's podcast, and he is a very, he paved the way for a lot of this stuff with Dental Town and bringing dentists together. And he is definitely a unique and enthusiastic individual. And I think, your reference of, I use the modes of transportations all the time, walk, bike, car, this. So it's just an easy way for patients to embrace something that's better than what they have. Otherwise, a denture is just something that doesn't work without implants on the lower. And I think our patients, what is interesting, and this is something I teach, many people say their grandparents never complained about their dentures. But I say, did you ever look at their plate when you guys all ate dinner, what they ate? Was it the same thing you were eating? Probably not. And what happens is nobody wants to hear you complain after about a year. So these people, they didn't like their dentures, but they said, I can only live my life, next 20 or 30 years. So now I'm just excited to offer people solutions. If my team's watching, if you go on our website, PenningtonDentalCenter.com, some of our best testimonials are from people who do implant over dentures, because like you say, their face changes, their attitude changes. So
everything changes.
Where would people find some training? You guys do mini implants, conventional implants. Where do you guys go in the training world? Where would people get training on this?
We have many levels of training. We have webinars that we can start off with for people that just want an introduction. There's a lot of information already on our website. Then we do courses around the country at all the major cities. And there's a calendar that we publish, and we're getting ready to publish our 2020 calendar. We also have advanced courses where we bring in, more of outside of the basic case, but more into some of the higher level things and different things you can do. One of the things that I want to touch on, another pain point, because everyone loves hearing about pain points. Yeah. I'm sure you've heard about the concept of the denture divorce. Okay. And that is because
tell us more about that.
The sheer nature of the conventional denture. Doctors, yourself, if you are going to deliver a conventional denture, just by the sheer nature of that denture itself, there's nothing that you can do to ultimately satisfy that patient.
Yeah.
Now, the patient is going to look for you to satisfy them, but they're going to have sore spots. They're going to come in and you're going to relieve one area. Then they're going to come in next week and it's another area. And what happens over time is you and the patient go through what's called the denture divorce.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? So the patient says, hey, this dentist is not that great. I'm going to go down the street to another dentist. And the same thing happens.
Right.
With the introduction of implants, whether they're conventional or minis, some level of support, you alleviate that denture divorce. At the same time, you're giving them essentially their teeth back because they don't have that just a piece of plastic in their mouth. Now they have something that's in there. It's attaching into what is essentially a replica of a natural tooth root.
And what you said was so important there. I always like this though, Gordon. The dentist, it's not an easy job. You tell your patient, hey, the denture's not going to work. You adjust it. They leave you. They go to the person down the street, same thing. They never come back and tell you were right. I would like that. I don't need money. I don't need them to be my patient. I just want to say, you were right. But I have something I can share with the Nacho audience, and if it helps any of your dentists. So I do a lot of speaking on implants. I love it. And at the end of lectures, sometimes I'll go around and I'll say, what's one thing you learned from me? We'll be done. I'll let you out early. And one of my most popular things is when I talk to a patient who's about to lose all their teeth. And this is a very emotional thing because people are losing their teeth later. They're 72, they're 73, later than the past generations. That's a big change. And think, you've chewed with teeth in your anchored teeth for 70 years. But I say to them, listen, if you do dentures without implants, dentures without implants are for smiling only, not for chewing. Dentures without implants, smiling, not chewing. And they get that. So I just say to them nicely, if you want to walk around and look like you're at your granddaughter's play and look like you have teeth, dentures will do it. If you want to eat the meal afterwards, they're not going to work. And dentists sometimes, it's a lot of interaction and communication, but right. More words doesn't necessarily mean more understanding. It's usually the opposite. So you say,
just to touch a little bit on the demographics, more and more of the aging population, the baby boomers, unfortunately, we're in a situation where affordability is really critical, right? We know we can provide wonderful dentistry. We can do fixed round houses. We can do great work. You can deliver that great work. The reality is that many of these people just can't afford that level of dentistry. So they shouldn't have to just run around with a conventional denture in their mouth or nothing at all. One of the other things that I want to share with you is that we have married our mini dental implants and conventional implants with digital dentures. So
tell us about your digital denture line.
Yeah, this is something really interesting. So we've partnered with a German company called Merz. They have the Baltic denture system, and where we've partnered together is we've taken workflow, and here is a digital denture here. What we've done is we've taken this digital denture, and if you see these retentive elements that are in the denture, when the denture is being milled, we are also relieving the intaglial side, the recesses, so that the processing of the attachments, the retentive elements, the workflows have been combined. So we've created this bundle where, whether it's conventional locator type overdenture attachments or the ERA or any of the ORA, any of the attachments, you can easily seamlessly bring into the workflow, and it just makes everything a lot smoother. And by the way, even conventionally, these digital dentures fit like a custom pair of shoes.
I was going to ask, I was trying to take notes. Tell us a little bit about, if you can, the digital denture workflow, if you're making that.
Okay, so there's 3 ways to get into a digital denture with the BDS system. We can use some trays, some custom trays that are part of the system. They're called keys, and the keys have a fin and so you get your midline and you get your bite plane.
Gotcha.
Right? The second way that we can get into it is taking a traditional impression with a bite block. And the third way is duplicating an existing denture. We can utilize the existing dentures, but obviously what I just gave you information on is that if the denture we're going to duplicate doesn't fit all that well, we're going to make a digital denture that is mimicking that denture. Okay, so we always should go for getting the best data input in, all the data points. So once that's done, we scan in. So it's scanned. Now, if you have a scanner, if you have a handheld scanner, you can scan. There's a few scanners that have come out on the market where we can do intraoral scanning, but there's many of them aren't good for edentulous patients yet.
I think what you guys have done is you've done nearly the impossible. You've made dentures almost cool again. There's scanning.
Exactly. There's scanning. There's design in the software.
You've never had the joy of going to dental school, but to do a denture in dental school, it's like 17 visits. One visit, you just take out the bite rim and you look at it. You don't even put it in the patient's mouth, send them home. So dental students just get burned. and they just think, I don't want to do this, which is a shame because I love cases with dentures, but it took me collaborating with an awesome lab who's part of Dental Nachos and just learning more about it. Now, as we start to wrap up on some good Gordon points, you told us what we can do to make dentistry more affordable, how to incorporate technology, how to treat a wider patient base, how to increase profitability by doing these cases as well. Now, let's sort of wrap up on, and I know you have a cool offer for the Nacho group with your temporary materials. So no matter who, if you're a general dentist, you could be doing implant cases, you could be doing extraction bone grafts, but doing a temporary crown, you send the patient home and you think, I just hope it doesn't fall off. I hope it doesn't break. So share with us. I know, it might not be the top thing you think about every day, but I know my people, the dentists, Gordon, they think of temporary material. So tell us about one, the affordability, because my people, they're cheap people, the dentists, they're cheap people, they enjoy a deal. So tell us a little about your temporary material, and we'll drop in a special Nacho offer you guys have been kind enough to offer us as a sponsor for the group on both the temporary material and some of your courses. Share that with us.
Great. So what we have is a whole line of consumables, and the temporary crown and bridge material is one of them. It's German made, exceptional quality, and it comes in all the Vita shades. And for you Dental Nacho members, your group and any affiliates, we're selling it for $75 a box, which is one of the great prices that we are able to offer you. It's a large size quantity, multiple temporaries, probably can do about 15 to 20 single unit temporaries in one cartridge. And we're offering that to you not only today, but on a ongoing basis.
We appreciate that because my Dental Nachos audience, they love a deal. People love a deal, especially the dentists. They love a deal. They really love free. I've noticed they love free. Their crown prep should be $1,400. I'm just joking, but I like my people. And for you to make that's what I like at Dental Nachos, make their life easier, save them some money, make good business decisions. So Dental Nachos audience from Gordon Solar, try that out. And then I'm also excited about this
education for CE. Okay, so we're going to do a brand new program. We haven't done this yet with you guys before. We're going to add this in.
Nice.
So any courses you want to take for our either our online courses or any of the hands-on in-person courses, we're going to extend a 25% discount off the course registration.
Oh, that's a good deal. I like that. See, something I love. You do a little bit each year, you build, you get to learn things that make dentistry more fun. And I always kind of share this, and you feel free to use this. When I start a lecture, it could be 20 people or 200. I say, raise your hand if you're a dentist, they can keep it up. Raise your hand if you want to be happier and make more money, they keep it up. And I said, who's okay with working more hours? And all hands go down. And I say, because dentistry hours are like dog year hours. It's a lot. And the only way to do that is to be more profitable in the time that you're working in a responsible way. And implants are really the answer to a big piece of that. And what I like to share, and I know you're saying, it doesn't mean you have to place every one of your own implants. It doesn't mean you have to start doing lateral window sinus lift. Just do more. It could be describing it, talking to a patient, and working with a good periodontist, doing some yourself. So I love that you brought this energy and ideas to us, Gordon. Anything for the audience? We got the great deal on the temporary. We have the training courses. We have your tips on increase your services, make things affordable, use technology. I want to learn more about digital dentures. Any parting Nacho words for our audience?
All right, so I'm going to leave this. This is the best for last, and this
awesome.
I was amazed when I saw this. Right, if any of you guys out there have done a denture, usually it's between minimum 6, 7, 8 visits with the patient. And usually it spans 8 weeks, right? Because the patient doesn't come back every time.
Yeah.
With the digital denture system, two visits, maybe 3 if you want to do a try-in every single time. So
that's awesome.
Talk about chairside time, recouping that, profit margins up, and most importantly, patient satisfaction.
Yeah, anything you can do for them to, sometimes they say, you don't want to hang out with me, Millie? She's like, no, I got to get to my senior lunch. Like, it's 10 a.m. Like, it started 5 minutes ago. But I totally am with you. Well, Gordon, the last thing, how would people, if they want to connect with you or Sterngold, what's the best way for them to connect with you guys?
Sterngold.com. And
Awesome.
all of the different aspects are there. You can chat with us live. You can come in through email. You can call us on the phone. We have all the bases covered. In fact, much to my chagrin, we still maintain a fax line for the guys that still want to fax their orders in. We've got all the bases covered, and social media too. All the social media outlets. There's every way, and we're happy to support everybody in the way that they want to connect with us.
I've always said, Gordon, I'm like you. I am very cautious because we're using, Zoom technology, up to date. But one day this is going to be all. And I always feel like my dad's going to be like, "Look at my dumb dad texting. We send each other holograms now." So I respect those fax people. It's okay as long as you're doing some. So thanks for everything, Gordon. Dental Nachos audience. Many times you think this is a joke when I say it, but I am actually going from here in the next half hour to have nachos and margaritas at Rosie's Taco Shop in Philadelphia. So if you're in Philadelphia around, the nacho team's going to be there and some great dentists in the area. We started off talking about how important it is to get out face-to-face, and this isn't even a C course. It's just Margarita C, where you can hang out, meet an associate, make a new friend. So my team will drop in there. But thanks, Dental Nachos. Come join us for nachos and margaritas. Thanks, Gordon Sterngold. It's awesome to have people like you on our side, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you, Paul.